The next calculation is for the hip length. So when you look at this calculation for the hip length, it's the eave width plus the half span minus the half rafter thickness. So that's the run for the hip. And what you'll notice is the run for the hip is identical to the run for the crown end. So once you determine the run for the crown end, you can use that same run to determine the length of the hip. The only difference being that instead of multiplying it by the true length of common rafter per metre run for the crown end, if you're determining the hip, you multiply the run by the true length of hip per metre run. So inputting that into the calculator, we start with the brackets, and the eave width is 600 millimetres, which is 0.6 metres, plus the half span, which is again 4 metres, and minus the half rafter thickness, which is 25 millimetres, which is in metres, 0.025. Close the bracket. We then multiply that by our true length of hip per metre run, which was 1.527, and equals, and the length of our hip is 6.986 metres. So I'll just sticky note that there, 6.986. The next calculation is the hip distance to Birdsmouth, and the formula for that is the half span minus the half rafter thickness in brackets times the true length of hip per metre run. So what you'll notice again is that the run for the hip distance to Birdsmouth is the same as the run for the crown end distance to Birdsmouth, and the difference being that you multiply the run by the true length of the hip per metre run for the hip distance to Birdsmouth instead of the TLCR per metre run. So inputting that into the calculator, starting again with the brackets, the half span was 4 metres, minus the half rafter thickness, which was 25 millimetres, input that as metres, which is 0.025, close the brackets, that's our run, and multiply that by our true length of hip per metre run, which is 1.527, equals, so our hip distance to Birdsmouth is 6.070, because as you can see the 8 would round the 9 up, which would bring the 69 up to 70. So I'll just put that answer there with the sticky note. So the hip distance to Birdsmouth is 6.070. There it is there.